Welcome back, everybody, and welcome to everybody that clicked on this and that wants to join and watch. I appreciate everybody that is gonna check out this video. This is LiltXL Speaks. This will be video 38. It's the first episode of season 2. I'll have a link in the description for season 1. You can go ahead and check back and watch those videos and to get up to date of what this program is. Basically, for everybody that doesn't know, I'm LiltXL, and this is where it's called LiltXL Speaks. I'll give my raw, honest opinion. Not my raw, honest opinions, but my feelings. So yeah, my raw, honest opinions and feelings about different types of subjects. But this season right here, I'm coming with different material and more subjects than what I previously talked about. But when I do on season 2, I'm specifically gonna focus on like certain topics and then just go on that topic. Because season 1, if you go back and watch, season 1 was kind of like you know straight off the top of my head and just basically going wherever it leads me and going from there. But this season, what I'm going to try to do is we're going to just pick one topic, one certain subject, and then we're going to stay on that and then just break it down piece by piece. So on this video, we're going to be talking about the coronavirus. I know it's affecting a lot of people right now, and what I'm going to do for y'all today is just give y'all the basic facts of the COVID-19, also known as the coronavirus. And I appreciate everybody that is watching this with me. Make sure you like, share this video, subscribe to my page as well. And I'm going to have links in the description as well. Also, when I come with it's going to be a lot of different facts and numbers and things like that, locations and things like that. I'm going to also have the description, the links to all of those sources where this information comes from, so you can verify it for yourself if it doesn't sound right to you or anything like that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start. This LiltXL Speaks, video 38, first video of season 2. Alright, and this is about COVID-19, basic facts. And this is what we're going to cover. What we're going to cover today is what is the coronavirus. We're going to cover how was it made, where did it come from, what does it do, who are the most vulnerable, how many cases, how many deaths, how many recoveries, how to heal it, and what is our government doing, our best case scenario, the worst case scenario, any advice that I would give to anyone, precautions that we should take, and just a reminder to follow facts and just what my personal opinions about vaccines. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start off with what is coronavirus. We're going to start off with what is coronavirus. COVID-19, obviously everybody's been hearing about it. It's been all over the news, been all over the world, affecting the whole planet basically. Coronavirus is an infectious disease, that is caused by a new virus that has popped up in the world. Okay, and just to be clear, this is not the first coronavirus. There's multiple coronaviruses. This one is also the most deadly coronavirus. This is why it is just spreading everywhere, and it's big, breaking news every day. Okay, so there are 7, like I said, there's other coronaviruses. There's 7 different coronaviruses that they tested this to and compared it to. And just if you want to know some of the other ones that it was tested against, just 6 of them. 6 of the other viruses that it was tested against was SARS, MERS, they got HKU1, NL63, OC43, and 229E. These were all compared and tested against the coronavirus. And coronavirus is actually the most deadly out of all of them. SARS was actually something that SARS and MERS were something that affects your respiratory system, and it also has strands of that inside the coronavirus. The coronavirus is actually a hybrid virus, and a hybrid virus would be, something that is a combination of two or more viruses. And it was actually, how was it made? We're gonna go to part two. My next thing we're gonna go to is part two. How was it made? And those first facts about the different vaccines it was tested against, you can go to ScienceDaily.com or LiveScience.com, and you can check that out for yourself. See the other ones it was tested against. How was it made? Like I said, it was a hybrid virus, so it was actually two or more combinations of different viruses. And actually, if you look back, there was a study. It was first tracked down in Wuhan, China. But if you actually do some research, and this is where we go into. You do some research, you can see that it was actually made in the Wuhan Institute of Virology, which is kind of, questionable, because they're saying that, it's naturally, it just popped up randomly or anything like that. But that we say that for another video. We're just going to stay on basic facts. It was actually a test in 2015 by the Wuhan scientists, right? And they were doing research, basically, to see if a coronavirus that was inside bats, could also be made to infect humans. Like if they could take the virus out of the bat and make it into a virus that would actually affect humans, because the virus that was inside the bat would actually die, because our immune system, it wasn't messing with our immune system at all. So what they did, the team engineered a hybrid virus, combining the bat coronavirus with a SARS virus. The SARS virus is one of the viruses I was telling you about earlier in the video, that had been adapted to grow in mice and mimic human disease, and the hybrid virus was able to infect human cells, right? So, okay, before we get into that, what I want to tell you about that is just a couple days ago. Today is April 11th. Today is April 11th, and I believe it was about a week ago. There was the Justice Department had came out, and they were filing charges against the Harvard professor. He was the chairman of the Department of Chemistry and Chemical Biology. His name was Charles Lieber, 60 years old, also with two Chinese nationals. It was Yanqing Yi and Zhao Zongzin. And one was a female, that's Yanqing, and the male was Zhao Song. And they were actually charged with, charges as far as making false statements, espionage, and things of that sort. They also found receipts that the Harvard professor was actually getting paid by the Communist China Party, and that's a bad actors in China. With the Yao Qin and the Zhao Songzin, they were actually working with this Harvard professor, actually doing research and helping them be able to make the virus and the hybrid virus in the Wuhan Institute of Virology in China, where it first had appeared. Okay, so just so you know that information, and you can actually go to the Justice Department's website. You can go to Justice.gov and figure that out for yourself. And they're looking up to some big years and big times, and they're doing that behind the government's back. So if you wanted to know how it was made, so that's how it was made. You might hear things that it might appeared in a fish market just randomly out in China or something like that. You go ahead and do your research. I'll let you know what I found, and you go ahead and you do your own research to verify. Never just trust anybody that's telling you anything, Facebook posts and things like that. Okay, so Where did it come from? Like I said, it came from the city of Wuhan, China, in 2019. It was first discovered like at the end of November, which, I mean, that's when it actually started. You know, people start dying like intensely, vigorously from it. You know, it was already made a long time ago, but this is when it started to actually start taking effect on people. And the people in Wuhan, many people died in Wuhan. Okay, now where did it come from? I said that it was from China. And when I want to go back for a little bit as to the SARS and the MERS. They were both similar to the coronavirus. But the SARS, in that case, it came from animal civets, and animal civets are small, lean animals. They can almost look like an anteater or an armadillo, like both mixed together. And the MERS were found in the Middle East in camels. That's where the virus came from for the MERS, and it causes a respiratory syndrome. And if you don't know what syndrome is, a group of symptoms that may not have like a cause or a reason, but they see it occur more and more and more. So it's just a syndrome that you see popping up everyone, but they don't have an official cause for what it is. So it attacks your respiratory system. And this, specifically the coronavirus, attacks your respiratory system very, very in a devastating way. And that's why this is a national crisis, and why it's bigger than anything we've seen, in a long time. Okay, now who is the most vulnerable, and what does it do? Okay, like I was just saying, it attacks your respiratory system very viciously. What it actually does, it causes inflammation. It'll cause inflammation in your throat, where it will puff up. Maybe very hard to breathe, very clogged up. It could be rashy, like very, when you got a rash and it just hurts to even swallow or anything like that. Then it also attacks your lungs, because our lungs have these little bitty circles in them, and the inflammation that it causes is actually like mucus. It'll be mucus, and those little holes that's in your lungs, they allow us to get oxygen through when you take a breath. Those oxygen hole bubbles get clogged up with the mucus, and with the virus in it, it goes into those, hardens them and crystallizes them. So your lungs, they're supposed to be able to, expand, breathe in, breathe out. With these, it harden your lungs like a rock. So nothing can get through them holes, and the people can't breathe, and that's when people die. And you see the graphic pictures, people with blood coming out, people, dying. Looks very bad and probably very painful. Okay, that's what it does to our bodies. And back to, before we go on, I wanted to say something about how they were making the virus. They were testing out on the bat, and then they also were testing it doing the mice to try to mimic a human virus. The Covid-19, they said, when I was talking about some people, you might hear a story about it coming from a fish market or things like that. They were actually saying that a bat transferred it to a pangolin, and a pangolin, like I was saying, a pangolin looks more like it looks like one of those anteaters, but it has a shell around it like an armadillo. If you go ahead and type in a pangolin, then you'll be able to know. They're mostly in Africa and Asia. So they're saying a bat transferred it to that, then it jumped to humans. Okay? And they're saying it could still be in animals. So even if we do get it cleared out away from humans, get it away from humans, it could still be in animals, and then it can always reoccur. So that's something to always watch out for. Okay, and who are the most vulnerable? Is people of every age can get it. It doesn't matter if you are healthy, work out all the time, don't work out all the time, what different things you may do on a daily basis. Everybody is at risk for catching this. So that's why, always stay safe, do your part. Because if you just do your part, you're not just helping yourself stay safe, you're helping many, many people try to stay safe. Okay, so the most vulnerable as far as like statistic wise, them have older people and also people with like underlying diseases, like such as heart disease, diabetes, asthma, preconditions basically. Okay, and they are statistically, as the numbers keep rolling out, they are indicating that black people have a higher rate of not catching it, like not just catching it, but the black people that do catch it have a significant higher chance of dying from it because of just generational preconditions. So with the diabetes and high blood pressure, a lot of different factors play into that. So if you are black, just be extra safe and actually just know about that, so you can protect yourself. Okay. Now, that's for the most vulnerable. And as of right now, what I did was I was about to make this video, this LiltXL Speaks on the COVID-19 basic facts. And I was going to go ahead and write down the cases. And I didn't get to make my video that night. So what I did was the next day, I went back and I checked the numbers again. So I have the numbers from the first day, then I have the 24 hours from the next day. So I'm going to go ahead and read off the numbers of where it is 24 hours ago, and then I'm also going to read what it is today. Then I can give you the details and I can give you the numbers on how many cases there is, how many people have recovered, and how many deaths in the just 24 hours. Okay, in the USA yesterday, this 24 hours ago, there's 455,243 cases in the United States. There's 24,723 recoveries, 16,095 deaths in the USA, and this was yesterday. Okay? So there's a lot of people. That's in the USA. Now, just in that 24 hours, the USA went from 455,243 to 502,513, which will mean that's in the cases. Which means in 24 hours, the USA had acquired 47,270 more cases in just the last 24 hours. Okay? Now, as far as recoveries, I was letting you guys know the recoveries at 24,723. Today, the recovery is at 28,706. So in the last 24 hours, the recoveries have went up 3,983 recoveries. So that's the recoveries. That's good. Always to see people recovering and beating this virus. That's very great. Great news. Now, deaths yesterday, 24 hours ago, we were at 16,095 in the USA. Today, in the USA for deaths, we're at 18,631. So that means in 24 hours, there was 2,536 more deaths. And this is just United States. It is now affecting over 181 countries, I believe. 181 countries, so it's a big problem all around the world. But I also have the world numbers, so we can go ahead and go over the world numbers as well. And all of this is all just public information of this right here with LiltXL Speaks. If you want to come to one place and get your information, that's perfectly fine. I'm going ahead, I do the research. If you want to double check and give you the websites, it's going to be in the description. But if you just need a way to go through it and know what to look at, and go ahead and watch LiltXL Speaks, it's fine with me. But always do your own research. That's what I would suggest to verify for yourself. But last 24 hours in the whole entire world, this is the entire planet, how many cases has been documented. we have 1,447,412 cases in the whole world. And this was 24 hours ago. Okay? So 24 hours from yesterday to today, we have 1,691,719 cases. So that means in 24 hours, the total number of cases in the entire world had increased by 244,307. Okay, so that's really fast. You know, one day, almost 250,000 new cases in the whole entire world in 24 hours. Okay. Now for the recoveries in the entire world, you know, these numbers will look pretty good. You know, hopefully this, you know, continues. The world recoveries from 24 hours ago was 344,467 recoveries. 24 hours later, we have 376,096 recoveries. So in 24 hours, we have reached in the entire world 31,000 recoveries, 629. 31,629 recoveries in the entire world in 24 hours. So the recovery rate is really good, but the case rate and the growing rate is 4 times higher than the recovery rate. So it will never even out, you know what I mean? So it's always good to see recoveries, but just know that the growth rate of the spread of the cases is very, very fast. So always just know and be aware of that. And I'm going to go ahead and let you know, I live in Louisiana, and I had also took down a number, so if I have people, because I know I have a lot of family and a lot of people that watch my videos, I have the numbers for Louisiana, and I have the numbers from the 24 hours ago, and I also have the updated numbers. Now the cases for Louisiana 24 hours ago, we were at 18,283. Now the cases in Louisiana is at 19,253. So in 24 hours where I live at Louisiana, if you live there, we got 970 cases in the last 24 hours in one day. Okay? Recoveries easy for Louisiana. Louisiana has zero. Louisiana has 0 recoveries in the last 24 hours. This 24 hours, no recoveries. Okay. Deaths in Louisiana from the coronavirus was at 700 24 hours ago. Today sits at 755. So in 24 hours we have 55 more people die. Okay. And just for people that are very close to me, I live in a certain county. It's called Ouachita Parish. And in Ouachita Parish, we have 230 cases, 0 recoveries, and 1 death. That's the updated numbers that I have for where I live specifically. Okay? So those are the statistics and the numbers that we have. So it's very, very serious. Big numbers. If you can imagine, if you can just even imagine 1 million people just standing in front of you, it's unbelievable the amount of people that you'll be staring at. Like, just real people just staring there, and then just imagine them all just dropping dead, you know? That it's very scary. But not just all, that's just the cases though. I don't want to say the 1 million people gonna drop dead, but I'm saying still in the world cases, like we were saying, but we got 102,525 deaths. Okay, 102,000. If you can imagine 100,000 of people, that's like an arena or one of them big concert performances. Everybody in the whole stadium just, just gone. It's very, very sad, very alarming, very troubling, and we need to get this taken care of, y'all. So, what is our government doing? Okay, that's what we're going to go to next. What is our government doing? The government we're a little bit slow on the response. Don't want to put any blame on anybody as to why. Maybe we just weren't fully aware of what was going on. Didn't understand it. Didn't have the proper tools to handle it at the time. But as far as this moment, we came out. We closed off the border between China, where it actually came from. We sent out some military ships over to the most affected places like New York City. We are doing like emergency response teams for personal protective equipment for doctors, all the people that work in the healthcare industry that are still at work every day, like putting themselves at risk, trying to help everyone else get tests and things like that. They're sending them more masks, sending them more gowns, more protective equipment, because they're running out shortages, ventilators. You're going to need thousands and thousands of ventilators, which, I know it takes a process because it's not a request that is usually being asked for. We never seen anything like this. They're very big machines, like technology-wise is difficult to just like make one very fast and quickly just ship it out. It's a big, massive system that's gonna have to be developed to transport these all throughout 50 states. And then after the 50 states, we might gotta help other countries as well. So that's why it might take as much time as that. It seems like they're trying to do testing. They're figuring out better ways to test for it and figure out if people do have it, if they don't have it. Because there's many, many, many people that haven't even been tested. And that's one thing I wanted to say about those numbers. Those numbers are very, very big. Very, very large numbers. But you have to think, if we don't have all the tests that we need, or if there's so many millions of people that haven't even been tested yet, that might not even be the full scale of the number. Not might be, like there's no way possible that can be the absolute numbers, because there's millions of people that haven't even been tested yet that could possibly have it. You can also have it for up to like 14 days without even feeling any symptoms, so, and still spread it. Like you can go get a test and they might say you're negative, but you can still have it for 14 days, affecting a lot of people, spreading it to a lot of people, and then then it can pop up and it can still affect a lot of people. So just be careful about that. They're giving us these safety guidelines, basic things as well, like washing your hands, covering your mouth when you cough, hand sanitizer, making sure like the shaking hands, slow down, like do something else that you don't have to shake hands all the time. Just say what's up, little fist bump, stuff like that. First things like that. First things like basic things like that. We also had enabled the FEMA administration to go ahead and build little hospital tents where people can go get tested and things like that wherever they live at. FEMA and the military, like I was saying, for the emergency response, you can go to Cdc.gov for that information as well, as far as what the government has guidelines for us. Okay, now this is what I say the best case scenario for all of us could possibly be, in the near future. Okay, then I'll go ahead and talk about the worst. Give me a second. Best case scenario at this moment right now is that our government continues to figure out more information about the virus, what can make us more safe. I know they're really worried about the economy, getting people back into work, but they don't want to let people back into work before this is addressed and fixed and taken care of. Okay, so they're slow to do that. But best case scenario, they figure out something to test, or they figure out a way that we can go back to some sort of normalcy back into our regular lives, because honestly, after this thing does, pandemic crisis, coronavirus crisis does end, it's probably not gonna just be normal. I don't know if anybody could say what normal will be anymore. You know, I think it's gonna have a major effect on a lot of people. But best case scenario, that it does pass over very soon. We're not here, you know, all the way to the end of the year dealing with this thing, you know, and stuff like that. And we get it under control. We got new tests and things like that. Worst case scenario, they keep extending the stay-at-home orders, because people are already, you know, having a difficult time staying at home a lot. I know a lot of people love being out. A lot of people love being in nature. I love being in nature. Staying at home, I know a lot of people like going out, you know, interacting with people. And so if this thing continues, I know it'll be hard, but just try to keep yourself grounded. Keep yourself, if you're spiritual, if you're religious, if you're not, you know, just try to stay in tune with yourself and not go too crazy, you know. And worst case scenario is that we don't really figure out what to do, and it just becomes something that is normal, you know. It's just, all right, everybody go back to work, and we don't really know how we're going to fix this, but just go ahead and go back to work, you know. And I don't know how that's going to work, because I know a lot of people don't really have full trust in the government, you know, for them to just be like, okay, everything's cool, go ahead, go back to everything normal. I don't know how that'll affect people, okay. Any advice that I would give would just be, make sure that you are informed. Make sure you stay informed. Make sure that you're doing the proper research. You're taking all the precautions that you can for yourself, also for your family, people you care about. The social distancing, it looks like it's having an effect. It's causing like a curve. Like some of the worst places, they're seeing a curve start to go down. Like they hit an apex and hit the top peak, and it looks like it's going over, coming back down. But in some other places, it's going up. You know, like Louisiana was doing great at the beginning of this, early January. And a couple months later, 2-3 months later, it just skyrocketed, just up like a rocket. And Louisiana's probably like number 3, you know, as far as the fastest growing of cases. So it can just pop up anywhere, you know, and it's gonna affect everybody. Okay. So like I say, just take all the precautions that you need to do to keep yourself safe. Okay.